Hi everybody, it's crazy, it's Monday, and it's time for the UPBGE video of the week. Now before I get started, gotta give a shout out to my trusted, cause you guys rock. To my crazy fam, I love you guys. Now we're up to episode number 69, and we left off last week with hats off to Momo and Vice-Versa. Now if you're just started, it's your first video you saw, I suggest you go back to the beginning and also check out the description and go to the place where you can get the book, the game engine book, and get the files for it. Those who are following along and have been following along all along, make sure you open up this file here that we ended off last week with. It's called tutorial_idle_7.turning.blend, and if you hit play in it, as you notice, he has an idle animation, he has a walking animation, he has a turning to make him turn right and left, okay, and if he sits too long, he goes into his idle animation, okay. So let's go ahead and get started. Momo is a classy monkey, often seen at parties of the animal kingdom's high society. However, when with his inner circle of friends, Momo is actually a very casual monkey. Not much to show, nothing to hide. One character, two quite distinct moments. This is our theme of our animation. In this tutorial, we will show how to make Momo switch between two kinds of hats. A bouncing hat and a hat that fits tight on his head. We will not only use two different Blender objects, but also animate them differently when worn. To make an object external to the armature, and follow it, we need two things: a bone and a parented empty. Okay, the bone, which can be animated as any other bone, will indicate Momo's head location. Okay, right, which is, if I get my cursor to go in the right spot. Okay, his head location and rotation for every frame. The empty, or external to the armature, is parented to the bone and copies the bone transformations automatically during the game. In this tutorial, this empty, working as a placeholder, will be used to place the hat Momo will be wearing. Okay, so we're going to start by opening a variation of the latest walking Momo on the book file. So let's go up here to file, we're going to go to open, and we're going to come right down here to where it says tutorial_hat_1.begin.blend. Okay, and when we click that, you're going to see some nice stuff. But let's go back to our original file real fast, because I want you all to understand this. Okay, if you want to carry any of these changes to your own working file, which is this one, okay, you need to append the hats group into your local file, as this also includes the camera object and an empty where we are running the script to control the hat switch. Okay, so we're going to go to file, we're going to go to append, okay, and then you would append, okay, was it hat 1 begin, and then you're going to go up here to group, and then you're going to click on hat. It will append it to it. I'm not going to, but if you want to, continue on with the file we had last week, or if you're still running your file, that's what you're going to do. You're going to put, click on this hat, and you can hit append from library. I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'm just going to open up the new file, which is hat1.begin. Okay, and the hats are automatically here for you. You don't have to append them, but if you're working on your own, then you can append them this way I just showed you. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so the source is Blender Foundation, of course. Alright, this is a simple tutorial focusing on illustrating the bone parenting technique. Thus, most of the components are ready for you to hook up with your file, for example, the scripts. Let's first set up one of the hats. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read off this and then, kind of explain it on the Blender window over here, okay? Alright, so select the armature and go to edit mode. So if you go to the armature, you can come over here and hit edit mode, or you can hit tab, which does the exact same thing, puts it to where it's in edit mode as well. Okay, create one bone in the middle of the head and name it head.hat.steady. So you're going to connect put a bone just right about in here in his head, okay? And you're going to name it head.hat.steady. Say that 5 times fast, okay? Now you're going to parent that bone to the head bone, okay? You're going to change armature mode to pose mode. So you're going to go from armature mode to pose, okay? Go into object mode and create an empty with the same position and rotation as the head.hat.steady bone. Okay, so you hit Shift A and you got to put in an empty, but you got to be in object mode. Crazy, sorry about that. Shift A, and most people just use plain axes. Some people use circle, some people use sphere, some people use a cone. It's up to you, whatever you feel like. Plain axis is pretty simple, and most people use that. Okay. All right. So let's see. Name the empty. Okay. Head.ph.hat.steady. Okay. With the empty selected, select the bone you just created and make it the parent of the empty. Okay. So the bone that you have, okay, which is the main bone for the hat. Then you're going to select your empty. Okay, and then you're going to hit Control P. Okay, hit Control P, and you're going to get a bunch of stuff. You should have a bunch of the stuff pop up. Okay, you want to keep transformation. Okay, so a lot of people put with automatic weights. You can do that too. Okay, especially if you're doing the with the armature. Okay. With these changes, you can already animate the bone head.hat.steady, and the empty placeholder will follow along. The hat will be placed exactly where the empty is in the current file. Both hats are parented to empties and placeholders close to the camera. In order to animate the hat bones, you need to temporarily bring the hat to the position it will be during the game. For that to work, with the head.hat.steady bone, you need to bring the head.cap blender object to the same position / rotation as the empty placeholder and parent the hat object to it. Select the hat, select the empty, and in the transform panel in the 3D view, right mouse click in the values to copy to selected, Control P to parent. Now you can go to the armature edit mode and move the bone to make the hat fit the head properly. Okay, yeah. Okay, so the current snapshot can be found in tutorial_hat, and we're going to go ahead and go over to it. Okay, which is tutorial_hat_2.capsetup.blend. Okay, double click that. Now the hat is on his head, as you can see. Okay. Once the bone is in the right place, you can go over the walking and the idle animations and do some tweaks on its position and rotation over time. For this hat, you don't need to move much. In our case, we only tilted it a bit in the middle of the idle animation to follow the eyebrow raising and some subtle bouncing during the walk. When you now run the game, you will see that the hat always in the right place during the animations. To make sure you can follow closely, the file with the animated hat.cap can be seen in tutorial. We'll go ahead and go to it. Hat.3. Okay. tutorial_hat_3.animatedcat.blend. So if you're mine went a little fast on that one, I do apologize. But as you see, the cap is on his head, and if you hit play, let me make sure I'm on it. Okay, the hat moves with him. As he walks, the hat moves with him. As he turns, the hat moves with him. Okay, and as he idles, the hat moves with him. Okay. Now, as you notice, this is set in the camera view, so the top hat just sits here, but that one's going to be for next week. Okay, so I'm going to end it there. and we're going to say so far so good. Let's now set up the second hat. We're going to do that next week, so that's page 67 if you're following along. Okay, let me switch to here. So we're going to end it on page 67. We're going to do the top hat next week. I'm pressed for a little bit of time this week because I've been working a little bit much, and yeah, hey, life events happen. Okay, so page 67, we'll continue on from there next week, and we'll see you then.